here to debate the professor on MGTOW philosophy.
1 second.
Devo X, I'm sure you've listened to our previous debates. Basically, we only record the audio portion. The video portion will not be shown, and the audio portion will be distorted so that you sound like a chipmunk. Do you consent to be recorded in this fashion?
Yes, I do.
Do you consent to cause butthurt to the faggot MGTOWs who their main attack is we sound like chipmunks? Do you consent?
I don't know if I can consent to that.
I love when those faggot
I will agree that they are pretty butthurt.
Look, I love when those faggot MGTOWs get butthurt and say, they're 5 years old, they're chipmunks, they're little children, and yet they're spending all their time fucking making videos about children? What does that say about them? How pathetic they are. It's either one of two things. They're really threatened by our arguments, in which case they're cowardly fucking faggots and our arguments are true, or they're pathetic fucking losers making fun of 5-year-olds on the internet. Which is it?
Well, obviously they know you're not a 5-year-old.
So then, them lashing out
then is that they're confused because they don't understand why
they're butthurt little kids. They're lashing out and saying their main arguments. They sound like chipmunks. They're little. We're gonna call them chipmunks. I mean, that's their main argument. How fucking stupid are they?
Well, they're obviously confused about the issue because they need to look at your points and say whether or not there's any validity to it.
So the substance of the argument. You're saying the substance of the argument is confused by the voice distortion. That's their main. That's what you're saying is the substantive problem over the MGTOWs. They're just so confused and discombobulated. They can accurately comment on the voice tone, but when it comes to the arguments actually presented, they're oblivious to them. So it's just confusion. They're just like women.
I'm saying some of them are butthurt.
Some of them, I would say most of that. I'm still waiting for the intelligent ones.
I will agree with you there. I went back and I reviewed a lot of what the MGTOW movement was, and unfortunately, a lot of these guys are just they're so far-fetched in their ideas of what it is to be a MGTOW that they're bashing other men, they're bashing women, they want to run away into little holes. I don't believe that's anything about the MGTOW movement, and I believe it's all about
I believe that's most of the MGTOW movement, because that's the majority of who we've heard from, but we actually had an interview with a guy who you might appreciate, we're going to release that one shortly, who actually is, I would say maybe on your side, who's saying the MGTOWs don't represent these whiny crybabies that the most of us see online, or most of us hear from online, that there is another segment of MGTOW men going their own way. And so, hopefully you presented another aspect that we haven't heard of yet.
I think that's true. I was talking to him in the chat room, and he did have some insight into that. I think a lot of the more advanced MGTOWs, the ones who should be directing some of these guys, they're obviously either not doing a good enough job of telling them, what it is to be MGTOW or how to progress with their life. Either that, or they're not slapping these guys across the face hard enough, because for them to be whining all the time and complaining about, women don't like me. I mean, that's the whole point of MGTOW is to learn, is to get ahead of your own game. You need to go out and get an education. You need to realize that women are not the social focal point of your world. And if you can move past that, you can move into a more comfortable state where you can work on your own things, your own projects. Women are great, to have on the side. You have friends, guys and women who are friends with you. But if your whole life, your whole focus, all your energy is spent chasing after women, well, of course they're not going to respond, because they just see you as this desperate guy who's following them everywhere. They don't want that. They want to see the guy who's off, in his workshop, making some awesome contraption, doing something with his life, not paying them any attention.
That's actually not what women want, and that's what we teach men here, is the things that they don't understand about relationships and the problems they experience, and the reason why they're going their own way, so to speak, or they're joining MGTOW groups or joining MRA groups, is they have no real clue how relationships work. They're like you. They think women just like to see you tinkering and fall in love that way. That's a fantasy. That's something fed to you by Hollywood.
I'm not saying that they fall in love with that. I'm saying that they're more interested in people who are doing their own thing.
That's not what attracts women. This is what I'm trying to get across to you guys. This is not how relationships work. It's not you pretending to be aloof or being interested in a hobby, and suddenly a woman's going to go, oh, some guy's working with his hands with the wood carving, or he's growing a beard, or he's doing some hobby on his own. Now I'm interested. That's not how it works. This is a myth.
I disagree.
Well, I know you disagree. That's why we are in the business of dispelling myths. We're in the business of putting our money where our mouth is, so to speak. We prove this. I have experience to back this up.
Go ahead. Tell me if women are interested in guys who are doing their own thing.
I would like to get to that, because that's the whole gist of our academy. That's what we do on a daily basis. That's no problem for me to cover. I'll cover that after you're done. But I'd first like to hear your arguments against our academy first, and then I'll gladly teach you about how to form a relationship with both a man and a woman. I just put something forward
as to what attraction was, and you said you can disprove it.
I can, and that's exactly what we do here. But that's a reaction to my argument. That's a reaction to my claim. But I'd rather say that, because that's the substance of that's our entire academy. I mean, I would just have you enroll here. I would have you read the ebook. We have plenty of arguments. We have plenty of evidence to support our assertions. And I'm glad like I said, I had no problem talking about that. But that's what we talk about on a daily basis. That's what we teach on a daily basis. Let's get to your arguments first because that's more interesting to the audience. They want to hear why should we even bother with Manhood Academy or why should we join MGTOW? They want to know what differentiates groups. What's the point of these groups versus just what they teach just by themselves as far as what we do? Because people aren't going to even. I think the MGTOWs right now, a lot of them, at least from what we're getting as far as feedback goes, they're saying they're not even willing to investigate what we believe because they don't even see really the difference yet. They don't understand where the controversy is. Like I said, they're relying on they're calling us Chipmunk Academy and relying on voice distortion as the basis of their argument.
That's stupid.
So let's get to the
a ridiculous argument for
for children. Let's get to the real substance. Let's get to the real substantive disagreements that you have with our academy.
Well, here I'll tell you. I did have a problem with it. I had a really big problem with it at first. When I heard you first debate and you were calling everybody pussy faggots.
Yes.
I mean that's. To me, that's not debating. I see that as more like argument. It was like an overpowering of the other person, and I got quite offended by that. I did some more research, and I saw what you were trying to get at, and your base. The truth is that a lot of these guys are wimps, and they are cowards, and they're not getting up there. But I don't believe that tearing people down is the proper way to get what you're after. I think you're being too aggressive. You're being too overly macho in the sense that. If you're trying to teach somebody, there's an ABC on how to do it, but
how would you
say that everybody else is trash? The MGTOWs are trash, the feminists are trash. I don't understand where you're going with that, and I feel like you're isolating Manhood Academy, which could be something really great to teach people about growing up and responsibility.
Okay, I'm going to rebut that, no problem. But I want to know how would you do it? Okay, you say we're doing it wrong. How would you go about it?
Well, of course, having an establishment is great. Building a community.
How do you build all that? How would you go about it? Because you say we shouldn't. You're saying we shouldn't quote put people down, call them faggots, whatever. How would you go about it?
I'd go about it just by making friends. 50% of the people are going to like you. You can convince another 25%. By putting people down, by isolating them like that, they're never going to.
I don't understand. What do you mean by isolating them like that? What do you mean?
You're putting them down. You're making them feel insecure. You're making them run away before you've even given them a chance.
So they're not already running away. We're making them run away.
Well, you're exacerbating the problem.
Okay, again, how so? Be more specific, please.
Well, if somebody's already timid and skittish, and they come to you and they say, I need some help, and you say, well, you need help, obviously, because you're a pussy coward faggot.
Okay, so first of all, they're coming to us.
You're just trying to bully them.
Why are they coming to us, according to you?
Well, because they want to grow up. They want to find
what makes them want to grow
up?
What part of our message, or what part? Because you're saying two things. You're saying we're criticizing them and putting them down, and then they're coming to us anyway. I mean, I don't understand the logic here.
Oh, I'm talking about the ones who haven't heard of you, the ones who's just coming in off the street.
Okay, so some guy comes in off the street, and we call him a pussy faggot, and then he runs away because we've offended him. Is that what you're telling us?
Yeah. I'm saying that if you're gonna try and win people in, you gotta be like, oh, here's a blanket and a hot cup of cocoa. Come on in off the street, and we'll show you how it's done. You don't fucking kick them when they're down and tell them that they're bags of shit and expect them to want to learn from you.
Okay, now where did you get this impression that we do that?
Just from some of your arguments. Like I said, you've been calling people pussy faggots, and that's that right there. You're basically just putting people down.
Who are we calling pussy faggots?
MGTOWs, mostly.
So these are the guys. These are the guys.
Things about feminists.
Okay,
as well.
You're saying feminists or MGTOWs. You're claiming the MGTOWs. I doubt you're claiming the feminists, so we'll just say the MGTOWs for argument's sake. You're saying the MGTOWs are coming to us, looking for help, and we're just calling them pussy faggots. This is exactly what we're talking about. This is such a bullshit, retarded argument. I don't know how you can make this with a straight face, because you're saying the MGTOWs are just coming in good faith. They're just saying, hey, we're here to learn. Hey, we're here to absorb. We're looking for help. We're orphans. We're lost. Please lead us. That is such utter fucking crap. The
That's
MGTOWs,
not true.
No, that is true, because I deal with them on a daily basis. No, that is true. No. How can you say my experience isn't true? If I'm fucking dealing with this on a daily basis, how can you say that's not true? I'm telling you my experience. How are you so brash, so arrogant to say, oh, what you're saying isn't true? Your experience that you have directly is not true. How can you say that?
Because I'm listening to you right now.
Yeah, and I'm telling you my experiences, and you're just telling me right out. You're telling me right out, my experiences aren't true. How fucking arrogant are you? Is that how you approach people? You never said they weren't true. Right now, when I was telling you my experience that you said wasn't true, quote, quote, you're now going back and telling me you didn't say it wasn't true?
All right. If I did say they weren't true, I apologize.
You apologize. You don't even believe it. You're just fucking trying to get out of an argument.
Your experiences are true.
This is exactly what we're talking about. You MGTOWs are fucking two-faced faggot cowards. Listen, I'm going to tell you my experience.
That's not true.
Not true. You haven't even heard my story yet. And now you're going to apologize again for saying, "Oh, I'm just counting your experience." Are you going to let me tell my side or not? I mean, because you claim well, you keep interrupting me. I keep trying to tell you my experience, and you say before you even hear it, not true. Which is it?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, what?
You're coming at me saying that all MGTOWs are pussy faggots.
They are pussy faggots. I haven't even told you I haven't even given you my rationale yet. Do you want to hear that or just discount everything?
With your rationale. I'm just saying that part's not true.
No, it's true, and I'm going to prove it. Now, I'm going to ask you a question first before we go forward, because I can do it either way. Whether you cowards want to debate and be okay with interrupting like we're doing right now, fine. I'll have to just deal with it. Or whether you want to use the moderator and speak in turns, like I speak, and then if I want to be heard and I want to get a certain point across and I don't want you interrupting me, I'll appeal to the moderator. No, listen to me, dumbass. I'm asking you.
I am listening to you.
You're not even hearing my question. How could you be listening to me when you're too dumb to even respond appropriately? I'm asking you which way you want to do it. You haven't given me an appropriate response. No, it is true, you dummy. I'm asking you. I'm asking you. Dumbass, listen, I'm trying to ask you. I can't have a debate with you if you're too fucking dumb to even understand a rule of a debate, like how we should do this. Look, I'm perfectly fine just talking to you. I'm perfectly fine. Listen, dummy, I'm perfectly fine just talking to you like this. With you interrupting me interrupting you. We can do that. That's fine. I'll just deal with it. Or, if you want me to make a point and actually try to focus on making a broad, thorough point, I can say, moderator, shut this faggot up so I can make my point, and then he can rebut me if he wants.
I'm waiting for you to get to your point.
No, you haven't even answered my question, dummy.
The parameters of this debate. You should have done so
haven't even answered the question, you dumb fuck.
There's a moderator here if we want to do things, but I'm perfectly comfortable talking to you as such.
Fine, so if I interrupt you while you're making points, you're going to have no problem, right? You're not going to bitch like a little girl like the other MGTOWs, right?
I'm totally fine up to this point.
Up to this point. Fuck, you're gonna qualify everything like a fucking woman. Alright, I'm just gonna deal with it, alright? And then...
That's another thing. You're always bashing women. What did women ever do to you?
Which point do you want to cover? You're like a fucking woman. You're all over the place. Which point do you want to cover? Make up your mind, woman.
I've been waiting for you to come up with something.
I'm trying to, but you're fucking yapping like a woman. You're yapping like a woman. You don't even want to hear the answer. You're just like every other MGTOW. You say, I'm here to good things. I'm here to good things. I'm here to hear the answer. Oh, wait, but I'm yapping like a woman and I can't shut up.
You're always talking about women need to be submissive.
Which is it? Are you going to yap like a bitch? Are you going to yap? Or you want to hear the answer? Which is it?
You always talk about women.
Are you going to yap like a bitch? Are you going to yap like a bitch? Are you going to keep yapping like a bitch, or do you want to hear the answer? I mean, why don't you just make a video fucking talking to yourself, because that's all you're doing. You're not having a debate with me, you're talking to yourself. A debate means you're responding to what I'm saying. You're rebutting or you're listening, one or the other. But you're just yapping points. Why don't you just make a fucking video? No, you're too fucking dumb. You're too fucking dumb to even debate. You can't even stick to one issue. That's not
true.
You're too fucking dumb. I'm trying to answer your question. I'm trying to answer your question, and you're fucking switching. Now you want to hear another point.
Okay, well,
which is it?
Which
is it?
You evaded the point at the beginning.
No, you dumb fag. No, you dumb
fag.
No, you dumb fag. I'm trying to answer your point, but you're a dumb little bitch, and you can't even focus and pay attention. You're like a woman. You're all over the place. You're saying, I want to listen, you little bitch. You need to decide, because I can answer both, but I can't answer both at once. Now you need to be a man and make a decision and say, look, Professor, I want you to answer the MGTOW controversy you put forth, or I'm sorry, the contention I made about your academy calling everybody faggots and saying that we're alienating people. I can answer that one. Or whether I have something against women. I can also answer that one, dumb fuck. But you have to decide which one. You have to listen, dummy. Listen, dummy. You have to decide.
Just answer.
Listen, dummy. Listen, dummy. Listen, dummy. You have to decide which one you want me to answer, because I can't do both.
Oh,
you don't. So I can just say banana. Okay, I just say banana. Now I just answered it. Doesn't matter to you. Banana. There we go. There's your answer.
You're not talking about MGTOW.
You're not talking about MGTOW. You're like a fucking woman. You're like a fucking woman. You can't make up your mind. This is a prime example. We don't even need to have a debate. You are a prime example of why the MGTOWs are a failure. They're too fucking dumb to even make a rational point.
That's not true.
You've just proven it. You've just proven it for me right here.
No, I didn't.
Sure you did. You asked me to answer one thing. You asked me to answer something just like an emotional woman, and then you got butthurt about something, and now you want me to answer a totally separate point. I'm like, which one? I can answer both, but make up your fucking mind. Stop being a woman.
Well, just answer one. Why are you doing all this dramatics about monkeys and bananas? Just answer something.
God,
just talk about what you're... I told you, I don't...
Because you're a fucking retard, and I like to concentrate when I'm making a point. I like to assume that the other person is here to listen and not just talk, because if you're here to just talk, why don't you just make a fucking video?
I'm ready to give you that opportunity.
If you're
go ahead and I will be quiet, and you can
if you're
talk about your
too
point.
fucking dumb to debate me, why don't you just make a video?
True.
You're too fucking dumb to debate me. Why don't you just make a video?
Not true.
No, you're too dumb to stick to one point.
Moderator.
Oh, now like a bitch, you want to pill the moderator.
Moderator, can you mute him for a moment, please?
Mute me, go ahead.
You said
mute me, go ahead.
That you were
moderator, mute me, or I'm just going to keep talking. Go ahead and mute me.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I muted him. What do you want?
Oh, well, I don't feel like he's really getting to any points here. He's kind of just talking about the debate as a whole. Is there any chance that we could maybe move this along? Could you perhaps ask him a question regarding MGTOW or Manhood Academy or something that I related?
I can't speak for you. You're going to have to answer that question, and I have to get the door.
Hold on. We'll let Trailer Trash go ahead and moderate, please.
I'm getting a glass of water. Hold on.
Okay. We'll have a timeout.
Timeout.
Holy Christ. Please no help, no coaching from the audience. Thank you. Well, we're waiting for the MGTOW woman to get his glass of water. We're waiting for DBE to get the door.
All right.
Oh, he's back. Okay.
All right, Devil, what do you want?
Hold on a second. Isolator, mute your fucking mic. Don't unmute it. Go ahead.
All right. Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah, go ahead, Professor. I'm just giving the professor a chance to say what he needs to say about MGTOW and Manhood.
Oh, you're giving me a chance now. Thanks. He's back.
Back to you. Oh, you're back. Sorry about that. Where did we leave off?
He's now giving me a chance to answer the question, and I'm still asking him, is he going to keep interrupting like a woman and let me answer, or what does he want? Okay. He wants me to answer something else? I mean...
Devo.
Yes, sir.
Do you want to proceed forward with interruptions or with a moderator? Which one? Just pick one. That's it. We can move forward and get to the substance of the arguments. Just pick one.
I like the idea of the moderator, but I don't mind if he wants to interrupt me.
Ugh.
I'm asking you, just select one. Flip a coin if you have to. Just pick one.
All right, I'll stick with the moderator.
All right,
okay.
Moderator, mute this faggot so I can answer in full.
Okay.
Thank God. Okay. The first point this moron brought up was the contention that MGTOWs just approach the Academy in good faith for some unknown reason, and they just show up at our doorstep saying, "Hey, Manhood Academy, we are so lost. We just need your help." This guy's an utter fucking retard and is lying through his teeth. And he's trying to tell me my experience is not true, not even having heard my experience. This is exactly indicative of the MGTOW mentality. Fingers in the ears to the truth. Fingers in the ears to testimony from a person who's having real experiences with these MGTOWs. And he said, I'm automatically, no, that can't be true. This is a woman's response. This is just rejecting the truth outright before you even hear it, before you even have a chance to judge its worthiness. If it's worthy of of factoring into a decision to do something, to perform some action. MGTOWs come to this academy. Again, I'm speaking directly from my experience, my personal experience with MGTOWs. They probably don't approach us directly on the forum, but they'll start with the YouTube videos. They see the effects of feminism on men. They watch the problem, the solution, the application. So the various videos, debates we put out, MGTOWs will make comments. If we're debating feminists, they have no problem. They're not butthurt yet. They'll say, "Oh, women are evil," or they'll even chime in with helpful comments, such as the wage gap doesn't exist and citing examples and whatnot. So generally in the feminist, I would say on the feminist videos where we're either debating a feminist or exposing the flaws in feminism, the hypocrisy of feminism, the bullshit in feminism, they're a mixed bag. It's either we hate women and women are evil and therefore these videos kind of support us and verify. So they think these videos are patting them on the back and saying, we're fellow MGTOWs, go team, fuck women, they're evil. That's one side of MGTOW. The other side of MGTOW is kind of trying to interject and teach, like they want to be an authority and say, oh yes, women are doing this, women are doing that, and this is wrong, this is hypocritical about feminism, you are directly covering this in the debate, or I didn't like this point, but this point was right on. So they're sideline commentators. So you see this mix of MGTOWs doing different things at once. And then some, of course, will come directly to our academy, investigate our beliefs, read the ebook, etc. But by and large, these guys are just, they're not seeking our help. They're not, there's links all over our videos to the ebook, to our content, whatever. These MGTOWs have no fucking clue what's in our ebook, most of them. They are just commenting, they're seeing a woman debating a man, and they're like, yes, go men. That's it. They're giving a yay, go team. So how is that seeking help from us? They're not seeking help from us. And even, you'll see a lot of the comments I make where I see sometimes I try to adjust the MGTOW's view, like if some MGTOWs will say, women, I just got a comment today, women are demons incarnate, just something that extreme. The extreme ones, it's 50-50. Sometimes I delete them, sometimes I just put, look, your view is off, but please check out the ebook because this will correct some of the assumptions you have, or just I'll address a small point and just drop a link to the ebook. So if they're seeking our help, they're going to go to the ebook at the very least, if not coming to our chat room and asking us questions directly, which many of them don't do. Okay, so they're making a lot of comments on our videos, which are just critical of feminism, but also making these absurd comments and these very just hyperbolic just lashing out, butthurt type comments. Women are evil. Women are this or that. Da da da. Stay away from women. And I hate the ones that come in and make comments on our videos that say American women, like they type women. American women are this. European women are better, or it's usually American women are this. Thailand women or Asian women are better, or American women are this. Go get a Russian bride. Something to that effect, or go to a different country. Some bullshit advice. So they're not really here to get our help. They're here to advise other men that they think are lost, and they're trying to use our videos as a platform for teaching people the MGTOW way, how to fucking run away like a faggot coward, okay? That's what they're using our videos for. They're not using our videos for helping purposes, like they need help and they're seeking us out. So I'm addressing these things day in and day out. We get many comments on our videos a day. And finally, you know, I don't know which straw broke the camel's back, but I just was, fuck, I had enough of these MGTOW guys because I keep noticing them making comments on our videos and I keep saying, look, we have an academy here. We're here to help you guys out. We know you guys are fucking sexually frustrated retards. I mean, the one MGTOW is saying, I've overcome my sexual frustration. He's wearing a fucking luchador, Rey Mysterio Jr. wrestling mask, talking about how he's conquered his sexual urges. And you could tell this guy, he's like Napoleon Dynamite Jr. I wouldn't be surprised if he was a virgin and never even talked to a woman. So these guys are so far in their fucking heads and so delusional. We're like, look, we got an academy to help you fucks. We do this. We work with men around the world on a daily basis. We want to help you. They're not interested. All they're interested in doing is saying, women are evil. Go to foreign brides. Women are evil. Don't get into marriage. Don't get in a relationship. Stay away from women. It's stay away or run away. One or the other. And I just got sick of it one day and I just said, look, it's time to talk to these fucking faggot cowards because they're not seeking our help. They would have done a long time ago if they were. They're just making comments and trying to wreck the point of our videos, which are trying to help men. So naturally, I step in and address that and say, look, the majority of you guys are fucking faggot cowards, and you need to face the music. This is this is indicative of the problem. This is why you're having trouble in the first place. You're not able to get your needs met in a relationship because you're not able to properly exercise authority over women in a relationship, and that's why your relationships crumble, and it's evident from the MGTOWs we talk to. So we're telling the MGTOWs this to wake them up because according to you, we just have to be buddies with them. What the fuck do you think we've been doing with our videos then, our ebook? That's plenty of incentive to say, look, here's how to do it better than how you're already fucking up. These videos are trying to reach out to them, and all they're doing is spitting in our faces by trying to use our videos as a springboard for their acerbic, fuck all women, we're demonizing women, just do this extreme thing, leave society and fuck 50% of the population. It's utterly fucking absurd. If they want to do it in their own videos, fine. I don't care about MGTOW videos. They're fucking delusional anyway. But if they want to use our videos for their absurd platform, fuck you. I'm going to address it. So when you're saying we're operating in bad faith, all I got to say is, fuck you, faggot cowards. You are the ones who are coming to us, to our academy, to pollute it with your bullshit and nonsense, or to pollute our videos with your bullshit and nonsense. We've also had MGTOWs that come to our academy and say, hey, we're talking in the chat room. We have resources. We have the ebook. We have students here. We have a whole community of men around the world that are willing to help them, support them. And they're like, hey, we support what you're doing here. Do you want to enroll? Do you want to get training? Do you want to get help? No, we're just here to say, good job. Keep up the fight. They don't even fucking read our ebook. They don't even know what we're fighting for. They don't even know what we're talking about. So how can they be supporting us? It's a fucking hollow sentiment. We hear this all the time from the MGTOWs. So I had to address it. And I did. And then now the fucking butthurt started. All the little bitches in the MGTOWs ran out and behind their keyboards, oh, Manhood Academy's evil. Oh, Manhood Academy's calls everybody faggots. It's an absurd fucking argument that we've already addressed. We don't just call people faggots wholesale and call them fucking losers and put them down as you claim. This is a absurd, fucktard characterization of what we do here. You yourself refer to these men as wimps. What are they going to turn on you and become ravenous dogs and attack you behind their keyboard because you call them wimps and losers? You recognize that yourself. We all recognize that. Why is it so hard for men to tell each other the truth? All we're doing is telling MGTOWs the truth. We're saying, look, we already explained to you, by the way, we're not referring to their sexuality when we say they're faggots. That's shorthand. I mean, it's a generational slang that people are aware of. People know. I mean, they do it all over 4chan, they do it all over the internet. I mean, even your buddies call each other fags sometimes. It's not indicative of somebody's sexuality. If I call my friend a faggot, it's not because I actually think he's, getting fucked by some guy in the ass. I'm obviously making a comment about the way he's conducting himself as a man, how he's functioning as a man. A lot of times, when guys aren't speaking up, because they're always seeking permission from other people around them, they don't feel like they exist because they're looking for women to permit them to exist, so they're very monotone, they speak like this. We say, stop being a faggot. Speak clearly, speak definitely. We're trying to teach them something. We're not putting them down and saying, you're a fucking faggot sucking cock, you're a homo, and you're a fucking loser. No, we're saying, we could elongate the description and just say, stop being a emasculated male who's been raised by a single mother and who's been troubled by feminism to have beliefs that are shipwrecking your ability to assert yourself. I mean, we could use long form, but for convenience sake, we just say, stop being a fucking faggot, and they get the gist of it. So when we're training people here, and they actually care about learning about what we do here, we're very open, and we're very willing to give them a full explanation about the terms we use. If we say bitch, if we say cunt, we say faggot, we say cowards. We call the MGTOWs cowards, and we proved it time and time again. How many MGTOWs have claimed, oh, I'm going to debate this guy? I mean, so many MGTOWs are fucking faggot bitches. They say, oh, we're going to debate Manhood Academy's 5-year-old children. They talk like chipmunks. They're just so stupid. We could trash them in the debate so simply. It would be no problem. Great, do it. Prove it. They don't. They hide behind their keyboards. We're calling them cowards. We could say, well, you're hypocrites. You just made these claims that that Manhood Academy hides behind a keyboard, and then or you're making these claims that Manhood Academy is just calling people faggots, or just debating people who are weak and spineless and don't know how to stand up for themselves, who don't have substantive arguments. If a real MGTOW stood up, Manhood Academy would be crushed instantly. We could say that, hey, in long form, you're making these false claims, blah, 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 and therefore you are exercising intellectual cowardice and da-da-da. Or we could just say you're cowards. We could be frank and upfront with them. You're cowards, which is really what we are. We're naming the sky blue. We're calling the grass green. We're not saying you're a shitty-faced tuna breath. I mean, we're not making some absurd, outlandish name-calling thing. There's definite substance behind our slang terms, behind our terms of convenience that we don't always explain in full because we've taken that time to do that in our ebook already and in our videos as well. But if you don't want to hear the information, why should we dine to some fucking entitlement-minded little bitch hiding behind his keyboard and say, well, for your benefit, we're just going to bend over backwards and give you a long 3-page explanation for all our terms and usage and what we mean exactly, and you're just going to go, haha, cool, bro. Why would I waste the time on you intellectual faggots, on you intellectual cowards? Why would I waste my time when I've already spent valuable time explaining my position in full and why I use terms that I use? If you're not willing to hear the explanation, why is the onus on me to keep trying to force feed you an education? Fuck you, you faggot cowards. If you really want to criticize us, read our work, investigate what we do, talk to us in the chat room directly. Do that first. Have a discussion. Have the balls to come here like Devo and have a debate with us face to face so we can rebut you. We can rebut your assertions. We can talk to you. We can try to use other men, the audience, because that's why we have the audience, to have public scrutiny, because they're going to hear what I'm saying, and Devo, they're going to hear what you're saying, and they're men just like you, and they have minds, and they can make judgments about how we're debating and the substance of our debates, and if we're being reasonable, right? So that's why we want the audience to chime in, so they can talk sense into me or you, if need be, or both of us. And so this is why we have these debates. They're very educational for men. Men need to hear these debates. That's why we do this. And as to your other silly, absurd claim that we hate women, this is just further stupidity on your part. It's an absurd claim. We see MGTOWs make it all the time, but they're too fucking stupid to even investigate our claims. If anything, it's you MGTOW faggot cowards that hate women, because we are the ones who have to look at your comments on our videos all the time that say women are evil. Women are demons, just like the one I deleted today. Women are fucking demons incarnate. It's utter fucking hypocritical nonsense that we have to feel this kind of bullshit delusional argument that we hate women, when we, of all people, would be in the opposite camp. We are in the business of trying to teach men how to create relationships, how to govern a woman so they enjoy being in a relationship with a woman. If we hated women so much, why would we even teach men to get into these relationships with women? And we're not even, we also expose the faggot con artists in the PUA community and the seduction community, all the bullshit they teach. They just teach guys to do what they already instinctually want to do, just tap as much ass as they can. We don't even teach that at the academy. We teach you, look, if you learn how to govern a woman properly, you're going to want to get into a relationship with one woman eventually. And you're going to want to spend time with her in a more intimate way other than just sexual gratification. And for that, to accomplish that, you're going to have to learn how to govern that relationship properly. So she's under your authority so that you can care for her properly, not so you can enslave her, not so you can make her a robot, so that you can govern her properly, so that she can reciprocate the care to you, so you have a loving relationship, not an adversarial relationship like all the MGTOWs have experienced, and that's the whole reason why they say fuck women, or they say run away from half the population. We're addressing that. We're trying to make relationship. So the claim that we're against women or we hate women is utterly fucking retarded. Now, I could maybe suppose why you would make the argument, because we have posts in our visitor section that say women are stupid. But listen, This is an issue of function, and we cover this multiple places, which you obviously guys don't bother educating yourselves or reading. We say that when women are competing for male functions like intelligence or strength, they're always going to fail. So again, we're highlighting the problem. We say women are dumb. We don't mean they're absolutely dumb. We mean contextually speaking. We mean relative to men. When they're competing for a male function, they're dumb. Just as if men suddenly started becoming like feminists and saying, well, we need to take female functions over. We want to bear children just like women. Otherwise, there's no equality. It must be same all the way across the board, 100%. So now all men, let's all try to have babies just like women, just to prove we're just like women. I'd say you men are fucking retards. Now, again, I wouldn't mean that in the absolute sense. I would say relative to competing for the female function of birth, trying to usurp a woman's function, which is to bear children, or one of the functions of a woman is to bear children. If you were trying to compete with a woman as a man in bearing children and saying, I'm going to have a womb contest with you and see who could have the child first, I would say you're a fucking idiot. You are a dummy. Stop competing for female functions, just as we tell women and inform women. Women, you're dumb. That's why men are smarter than you. That's why men have more capacity than you, just like adults have more capacity than children, because they're charged with taking care of them. So that's why we say in our visitor section in some of the videos or the debates, we say women are dumb. We're not saying women are dumb, therefore kill them, or women are dumb, therefore evacuate, or women are dumb and therefore don't deal with them ever. No, we're saying women are dumb when they try to become men. That is the dumbest thing a woman can do. The smartest thing a woman can do is shut up and listen to a man, because then she can receive care, the very thing she wants in a relationship. Go ahead, rebut.
You're good.
Oh, thank you. You made a lot of valid points there. A lot of it to do with, well, I guess I'll cover the first one, function. I mean, obviously, no man is competing for the function of giving birth. 100 years from now, test tube babies, sure. But, no guy's out there getting rammed in the ass thinking he's going to get pregnant.
I'm using that as an example. No, I'm not saying that is what men are doing. I'm just saying as an example of, of a female function. Just like if women were competing in strength contests against men. I'm just using it as an example of what feminists are trying to imply.
I agree with that as well. I mean, you're saying that women can't be as smart as men. I believe that as well. But then why are you saying women are dumb? Why can't you just say they're not as smart as men?
Didn't I just explain that? I mean, we do that. We do both. We say women aren't as smart as men when they're competing for the male function, and then we use the shorthand. You're dumb. I mean, it's just like calling MGTOWs cowards. They're cowards, or we could say they make claims they can't back up. They make accusations against the academy that are not willing to face us and to have us rebut them. They're trying to censor our views and their forums. We could say they're intellectually devoid of integrity. I mean, we could use the long form, but we just say they're cowards. We could do either or, and we have done both.
You don't need to. You don't have to have the short form for everything saying people are dumb.
We don't. I just said we had both. We had both.
Yeah, but even using it in a moderate sense takes away its validity.
I'm sorry, but I'm limited by time.
The content of your information.
I'm limited by time. I can't always deem to you guys to say, well, this guy, I don't know if he's going to waste my time or not, but I'm going to spend 5 hours trying to explain my position to a guy who might not appreciate it.
It doesn't take much time.
Oh, it doesn't? Oh, I didn't realize you deal with all the people that I deal with.
Well, I've seen some of your debates, and sometimes they last an hour, and you've had them extend well into 2 hours.
I don't know if you realize this, but I am part of a worldwide academy that deals with many men on a daily basis, and as well as dealing with female critics. So it's not just the debates, okay? That's one facet that you see, because that's all you think we do here. We do.
That's not true. I realize
so that's not true, and you know what we do here, then you know my time is obviously limited. I can't address everybody in full unless I'm dedicating time to them especially for that purpose. And why would I do that to somebody who's not receptive?
But you'd have to have clarity. Obviously, when you're saying faggot, there's a broad term there.
I do have clarity.
You've gone ahead and you've explained the difference between faggoted gay and faggoted pussy, but a lot of people don't see that the first time they're looking at you, and they may take it the wrong way.
Right, but look, I realize that. They may take it the wrong way, and some people do take it the wrong way. But I say this. If they're not willing to investigate our views, our ebook on our site, listen to our videos, and they just want to be offended by one word, they're going to be offended by any number of things. And if they're not willing to address us face to face, that's why we say stop the keyboard warrior faggotry, because this is what leads to all these absurd, delusional views that MGTOWs have and other people have on the internet, especially men's rights activists, because they're too cowardly to have their views publicly scrutinized. And if they're not willing to publicly scrutinize their own views, then what good are their views? What substance do their arguments even have? If you don't allow criticism of your views, you're a coward and your views are worthless anyway. So why would I care if a guy gets offended when he's not even willing to talk to me about the problem he has with our academy, something he's offended over? If he's not willing to discuss that with me and he just wants to leave a keyboard warrior comment and say fuck off and blah, 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 Well, then what are we left? Why should I bother with a guy who's that intellectually dishonest, who doesn't even want to have his own views put under public scrutiny?
Okay, so then let me ask you then, if somebody's coming up to you and they're, skittish and afraid and a coward, are you saying that they're not worth your time to teach?
No, I'm saying, look, there's a difference. We deal with all types of guys here. There's a difference between a guy who's skittish and shy. Those guys will apply for a scholarship before they'll make some of the comments that these faggot coward MGTOWs make. Now, if you go in the comments section and look at our video, you'll see brave fucking ninja keyboard warriors saying, oh, this and that, I'm smart, I can defeat them, they're idiots, they're silly, they're children, I know better than them, I can teach them this. Okay, great. You're so timid, and yet you're a bold fucking roaring lion making all these absurd claims behind your keyboard in your videos, in the comments section? Who are you calling timid? Are you calling those guys timid? Are you saying they're two-faced faggots, just like we already asserted that these guys have a face where they say they're all brave, and then they're really timid in person and will never do anything they say or stand behind anything they claim? Which is it?
But then again, there's something wrong with the MGTOW movement if the base of it is made up of these people.
Yes,
like I said, I agree with what you're doing. All right, I think Manhood Academy is a great thing. You're trying to teach men. Men need to be taught. I think the MGTOWs are just a different branch of what you're trying to do. These are people who are trying to get over it.
We are not MGTOW. Listen,
sorry,
we're not MGTOW. We're not going our own way. We don't believe in abandoning half the population. There's no way, shape, or form MGTOW. MGTOWs will come to us because they see hope in what we do, and they realize that they have sexual needs and relationship needs and companionship needs that MGTOWs don't address, that we do address. That's what separates us, that we want to form relationships where they want to end relationships. They want to part ways.
I believe the MGTOW movement has the potential to function the same way you are, where they will be able to teach people how to progress.
I highly doubt that because their leadership is shit, just like the MRA. So I don't see that happening anytime soon, especially with cowards who aren't willing to put their views under public scrutiny. How can you trust any coward who is not willing to have his views scrutinized? How can you even trust what they're teaching?
It's a relatively new concept, though. You got to remember,
not a new concept. We've been talking to these guys for years. It's not a new concept.
They're trying. I understand what they're trying to do, and it has some merit to it.
How does silencing and censoring your critics, the very thing that feminists do, the very thing that they complain about and bitch about, how does doing that themselves warrant investigation of their views?
Now, you're talking about individuals.
No, I'm talking about forums, groups, leaders, MGTOWs, MRAs. They all are in the same boat in that censorship category.
Well, listen, even your forum has a certain level of censorship. If I wrote in there and I said you're all a bunch of fags, I'm sure you wouldn't put it up.
Here's the difference. No, you're wrong. You're dead wrong. Here's the difference. I could go to their forum and say, you're fags. They would just ban me and say, you're a troll or whatever. If you come to our forum and say, hey, you guys are all fags and we'll make this claim, you guys hate this, but I'll say, look, we'll delete your post, but I'll do you one up. Come debate us, and I'll post it, and now the world can hear your views. How is that censorship? How could you ever claim that's censorship?
That's a much better approach to it.
That's exactly what we do. We don't believe in censorship. That's why this is the very reason these fucktards don't even understand why we delete comments. We don't delete comments because we're censoring them. They're censoring us. Here's why those faggot cowards only comment on our videos and will never dare to face us like you're facing us now. They always make the complaint, oh, you're not into censorship. Why are you not allowing us to see the vote count and thumbs up or thumbs down the video? Why do you think they fucking do that? Because they're interested in listening to the video? No, they want to just instantly press the thumbs down. Half those fucking faggots just as soon as they read the title, they didn't even bother hearing the rest of it. They just instantly thumbs down the video. They're fucking faggot cowards. Listen, did you thumb us down?
Well, obviously I couldn't. But I was
no, you would have. But my point still stands. Look it. Why would they want to do that? Because they're into censorship. They're into censoring our views. Why did they make their comment and then they're all interested in hey, why did you delete my comment? Because their comment gets 200 upvotes and it gets raised to the top. It's a fucktard comment and the rebuttal's buried. I want us to not be censored. I want us to have a rebuttal on our own fucking video and we can't have control over that. So look, if you want to censor us on our own fucking videos, fuck you. We're removing your comments and we're daring you to fucking step into the debating ring with us where we can get public scrutiny on both our views and you can't fucking censor us like cowardly fucking faggot keyboard warriors and hide behind that little downvote button like you faggots on Reddit like to do, like you faggots out in YouTube land like to do. You have to face us and you have to live and die by the reason and rationale of your argumentation, whether your views make sense to men who are listening around the world. And if they make sense, look, they're going to get on our case. They're going to say something's wrong with Manhood Academy. But if we make sense, then that's a wake-up call to you fucktards who like censorship and want to censor our views on our own fucking videos.
I obviously don't believe in censoring. That's why, again, I was concerned when I first saw your video and the thumbs down, thumbs up posts were deleted or disabled.
Yeah, we explained that already.
just listen. The first time I saw it, I was really offended. It just seemed like a big attack on a lot of people.
A thumbs down button is an attack? What?
No. I'm talking about the content of your video. Now, I've always lived by the philosophy that if people don't hate you, if there's somebody out there who doesn't like you, then you're doing it wrong. But when everybody's, out for blood, and a lot of people...
Who's everybody? Who's everybody?
Well, you've got a lot of the MGTOWs, you got the MRAs, you got the feminists, who,
right.
and that's why you need to censor what you're doing on your YouTube videos, because...
We don't censor, we prevent them from censoring us. We remove their comments. Okay, look, you could call it censorship if you want, but I explain our position and how we do it. We always invite our critics to face us and to debate us live. So you could call it censorship, whatever you want, but we make our claim that we don't censor any critic. We dare them, in fact, to come face us. And your claim that, hey, feminists hate us, MGTOWs hate us, and MRAs hate us. Great. So many men love us. You know why? Because we get the job done. These guys are full of shit. That's why they have to censor.
If so many people love you, then why aren't they supporting you with a thumbs up on your videos?
What the fuck is a thumbs up gonna do? That's fucking retarded. Look, real support is not on a keyboard. Real support is showing up and building a real community of face-to-face people that they can talk to. That's real support.
People are on the internet
Hiding behind your keyboard is not real fucking support. Listen, if men didn't
there is some support in it. That's why petitions are allowed to be online.
Listen, if men didn't support what we did, our academy would not be growing day by day. We would not be getting new students. The students would not be thanking us. We would not have all the comments we have on our forum here from students enjoying our work. We would not have all the comments we have thanking us on our videos. So to say that everybody hates us, it's retarded when you look at the evidence.
I don't think everybody hates you. But I just feel like you're out there purposely making enemies.
Purposely? So you think telling the truth, it's purposely making enemies with people? Well, maybe that's an indication that people don't like the truth. Well, we try to sugarcoat it as much as possible. We put flashy little pumpkin graphics on it. Woo! I mean, what else do you want?
Everybody faggots. That's as harsh as you could possibly be.
That's what you hear because you're a delusional coward hiding behind your keyboard. No. That's what most MGTOWs hear. They just hear one word and get offended. If they're not willing to fully investigate our views, like you're not willing to fully investigate our views, as evidenced by your claims against us, which are already answered in our videos and the ebook, what fucking good are you? What fucking good are you?
I'm willing to read your ebook.
Yeah, but you're coming here making claims against our academy, not even having understood what we even teach here yet.
But I'm not interested in reading your ebook until you convince me otherwise.
Well, that's the whole reason we wrote the ebook in the first place, to convince you. That's the whole reason we made the videos.
That's like saying believe it because it's true. Because I believe it to be true.
So if a dictionary has some explanations in there, or a medical book has explanations in there, or a biology book has explanations in there, it's just a magical fairy tale book of faith that that's why you're not going to read it. You expect the author to come personally to your house and just explain it to you?
You're comparing science to religion.
I'm comparing what you just claimed about why you shouldn't, the rationale behind why you don't even bother to read our ebook.
I haven't read your ebook because you haven't convinced me. Everything that I've heard you say or speak about was a bigot.
Look, you're a dummy. I don't know how to put it to you any other way. You're a dummy.
Because I haven't been convinced by you.
No, listen. You're a prime example. You're an intellectual coward. I already know the audience is going to back me up on this because I know some of these guys are reasonable. Maybe there's a guy out there who'll agree with you. Maybe Flappy will agree with you. But I know for the most part, they're hearing both sides of our arguments and they're going to go, this guy makes no fucking sense. Okay? I'm going to leave it up to the public scrutiny to decide. But I'm going to tell you right now, you've already proved my argument for me. I've taken all this time here, an hour's worth of time to explain to you our position in full, and you still give the fucktard argument, oh, you gotta convince me before I even bother to read the ebook. Look, if you're that fucking dumb, you already vindicated my argument. You basically supported my claim. You basically supported what I just said, that we shouldn't waste our time on fucktards who aren't really open to what we're teaching.
You haven't shown me anything to suggest that you are remotely on my side.
Then I rest my case. I'm just saying you're too dumb to understand what we're saying.
How can I be on your side if you're not going to be on my side? I'm willing to extend that olive branch to you and say what you're doing is interesting, it's engaging.
Coward.
And you're going to turn around and just call me a dummy and
you're
stupid.
You're a fucking phony
coward. You know what?
coward.
It's not true. It doesn't help your argument.
I like how listen, the difference between you and me...
You're trying to do something good, and
the difference between you and me is you're the difference between you and me is you're a butthurt woman. I'm not. You've insulted me.
No,
you've called us.
You've
made false accusations about our academy. You said we're just these fucking guys who just go around yelling faggot and implying we're just these stupid people. So you're insulting in a verbose way, whereas I'm just briefly calling you
stupid.
I'm briefly calling again. I just said you're insulting in a verbose way. I just described how you're too dumb, obviously, to grasp it. and we're insulting directly. We just call you a faggot coward. Just what we mean. And we can explain it to you if we feel the need to, if you're going to listen to us. But if not, fuck you.
You've got a lot to improve on.
Right.
There's always room for you to
says
get
the
better.
guy who doesn't even fucking listen, who has wax in his ears. So again,
I've listened to everything you've said, guy.
Great. All right. So I'm going to rest. If you have further arguments, go ahead and present them.
The MGTOW movement, while it does seem fairly confusing, especially at the bottom rung, a lot of people are confused about what it means to be MGTOW. I still believe that the vast majority of those in the higher up are.
Are you the top rung of the MGTOW?
They're there with a clear purpose to validate their arguments, to say that there isn't one fixed way to do this, to be a man, to go about your life. And Manhood Academy, while I do have some respect for you, I just find a lot of what you say is rhetoric. It's just it's a lot of vulgar. It's a lot of discrimination. And until I'm convinced otherwise that that's the way that I should live my life and apply that in a real world setting, I'm not going to do it.
So it's vulgar and it's empty rhetoric. Again, insulting, but again, the difference is I'm not like a little bitch like you, and I'm like, oh, you call us vulgar, you should change your approach, you shouldn't call us vulgar, you shouldn't call us empty rhetoric, you should do this approach and ingratiate yourself with me. See, you're doing the exact same thing, but you're a hypocrite and you're too blind to see it. This is exactly my point. I want to know, are you representing the upper echelon of the MGTOW Academy? Since you say there's these other guys who are just not representing you properly, are you claiming that you're the proper representation of the MGTOW as the higher level?
I'm a representation of somebody who has a little more intelligence to come in here and actually dispute what you have.
So you are the higher level, or you just can't, you won't answer?
Well, okay, I wouldn't say I'm higher because I've never actually gone to their forums and communicate with these guys.
What level are you at?
I'm working on my own accord.
Okay, how many levels are there and what level are you at?
I don't believe there's a level system. So, there's some sort of hierarchy.
How do you know there's any levels then? Higher level, lower level? What are you referring to?
I'm saying that those who are on the net, or those who are describing themselves as MGTOW, and they're making sense. They're on forums. They're discussing their debates logically. They're not just in there ripping on other women or other men. They're actually making sense. They're trying to prove a point. They're trying to say, look, MGTOW is here to help. We're not just here to run away.
They're here to help.
We're here to give you guidance on your journey because we know that what you're doing up to this point hasn't been working. And if you want to go off and work as a nurse, we support that. If you're going to go off and work as a caregiver, you go right ahead. If you want to dress up in a dress and wear eyeliner outside, you go ahead. But you got to realize that there's a certain limit to what you're going to do, and you cannot run away from the situation. If you want to forego women, that's fine. You go ahead and be by yourself, but you're not going to help anybody by opting out.
Well, that sounds very nice and diplomatic until you get the actual comments and you see how these keyboard warriors really feel in MGTOWs, and you can find out.
I'm sorry you've been hurt by them.
I'll try to contain my butt hurt. Any last closing statements?
That was it.
Okay.
Okay, sweet. We'll go to audience reactions. Isolator, your reaction.
David, I'm new to all this men's rights movement, but from what I've gathered with the MGTOWs, Manhood Academy seems anti-feminism, but MGTOW seems anti-women. I've heard Barbarossa, Sandman, all of it.
Isolator, slow down, please. It's very difficult to understand you the way you're talking right now.
Sorry. Did you catch any of that?
Yes, no. Speak up, laddie. Speak up.
Where was I?
I don't know. Start from the beginning.
Okay, can I just ask Dave why he became a MGTOW?
No. Give a reaction to the debate.
Alright. Well, that was my main point.
Fuck this guy!
Alright, Strangelove, your reaction.
Alright, I was honestly expecting a valid debate from this guy. As I was logging in, I saw in the comments section that he was ready to go. He apparently came in 10 minutes early, was already asking for the professor to show up. The moment we get in here, though, and the professor's getting him to back up his contentions, he just starts giving us vague answers and excuses. Oh, that's not true, man. That's not true. That's not true at all. That seems to be his favorite counter-argument. And he never gives a specific reason as to why he doesn't think it's true that he acts like a faggot, that he acts like a bitch, or that the MGTOW movement is just full of cowards who don't want to own up to the reality that their lives suck because they don't know how to properly manage their relationships. Let me see here. I was actually taking notes. One thing
I'm glad you took notes on the debate. Maybe you can have an educational comment. I like that. I like when people give specific arguments. It's great.
Thanks, Professor. The one thing he took me on a loop for was he says that he's smarter than the MGTOWs on the bottom rung, which indicates that there's apparently levels to this MGTOW movement. And then when the professor calls him out on it, he says afterwards, that he doesn't actually believe in a hierarchy. He just stumbled all over himself. And the more the professor actually probed him, the more he just gave him vague excuses as to why he follows the movement. Oh, we're not all fags. We're not all this and that. And just leaves it at that. Also, the crux of his argument was just self-righteous indignation. The guy was butthurt beyond all hell. He just wanted us to censor the use of faggot, cunt, bitch, without any valid reason, other than he's offended. The guy's delusional, and I honestly think he needs to join the academy to really get a grasp, as well, as to what we are actually all about. You can't get it.
Thank you. Oreo, your reaction.
All right.
Could you mute his mic because I hear background noise, or whoever's talking in the background. Thank you. Go ahead.
Okay. I took notes also. I think when he was speaking, he wasn't using logic to back up what he was saying. Okay. So when you talked about,
I was too.
Say that again.
I was too.
Yeah, let me explain on that. So like when you were talking about how MGTOWs run away from women, and in a Man in the Academy you learn how to form relationships with them. You were giving examples. You were explaining. Okay, and just like the last debater, all they did was resort to feminine justifications, emotional justifications. There was no substance to why. You weren't looking at the actual logical conclusions. Instead, you were looking at how those conclusions made you feel. And you made your decision based on if you would join the academy off of those emotional justifications, and not the fact that, because see, at the academy what we learn is we learn how to not make excuses. We learn how to not. We have a cheat sheet that we based, which is basically we have standards here. So we need to follow those standards every time we correct somebody, every time we talk. We have standards, and there's a strict guideline that we follow. It's not like, okay, this person makes me feel bad, so I'm just gonna tell them this, even if it's not on the standard. I'm just gonna, get emotional, get butthurt, and sometimes people get butthurt at the academy, but there's always a standard to look on. And so, what you need to do, I think you need to join the academy, because this is a lot of problems with a lot of men in society, is that they look at how what people say makes them feel instead of actually looking at the argument, seeing if it's valid, checking the facts, seeing if there's actually evidence to back it up. And Professor demonstrated those things. So that's my reaction.
Okay, trailer.
Alright, so, you come here, you're all professionally dressed and stuff, and you appear like an intellectual, and you have this courteous demeanor, so I'm like, okay, maybe you're reasonable, but then when I notice the way you're not actually, I wouldn't slow down a little bit. Okay, you're like, the professor's making all these justifications, you're like, well, why are you saying faggot? And he's like, well, there's the long form and the short form, and he's explaining the details. You're like, but it's still offensive. What the fuck? Is this guy paying attention? He just explained why he uses the short form out of convenience. Sometimes he doesn't have time. And you're like, but it's still offensive. And so you're like, it seems like you're not listening to a lot of the reasoning he's giving. Even though you dress professionally, you dress like you're like a thoughtful guy, but the way you act, you're not paying attention, and you act like a woman. The reason even he explained, women, I've talked to a lot of women, and I have to explain myself over and over again because they never listen. And you were acting just like them, and it makes me think either you're raised by a single mom or you're around women a lot because you're acting just like them. And you're like, it shows you clearly focused on the appearance rather than the substance. Because the truth, if you care about the truth, you shouldn't worry about how sugar-coated it is. You should just like, hey, this is the truth. It makes sense. As a man, you want the truth, but you keep getting caught up in the appearance. Like, yeah, but it's offensive, and that was turning me on. What else? Let's see. Oh, and you're also being hypocritical. Like chicks were like, if I'm like, pointing out to a girl, hey, you're not listening, you're doing this, she's gonna be like, why are you yelling at me? But at the same time, when she is arguing, like when you're arguing, I saw like when other people are talking, you're making eye gestures, you're rolling your eye, you even stuck out your tongue. You're doing the same thing. You're ridiculing back, but then you do it in this passive way, and you think, oh, the other person is. You don't realize your hypocrisy. So, the whole, and when you say you're part of MGTOW, you say, well, I'm not from the lower level, but then you don't claim you're from upper level. You're being very vague.
You don't say exactly what part you are. And every MGTOW guy who comes here, like, well, they don't represent us. Who represents you guys? Well, it's all over the place. And everything parallels how women act. Like with feminism, no one's responsible, shifting accountability everywhere, being vague, focusing on appearance instead of substance. You're mirroring women. And you need to stop doing that. Time to join the academy. So there's a standard, and people hold you to that standard, so you can, pay attention and not act like women. So I definitely recommend you enroll at the academy.
Wow.
Thank you, Trailer.
That sounded like the Gettysburg Address. These student commentators are becoming more and more educational as they take notes. It's just very impressive to hear them.
Thank you.
Okay, Devo, your argument about faggots, about you being, it boiled down to, they call me a faggot, I'm gonna run away. That's what you're saying. Because you're like, you're driving away potential members by using this language like faggot and cunt and whatever. That's bullshit. To anybody who bothers to look into what they're responding to, you'll see that those terms are accurate. For example, I know the comments you're talking about. I read those YouTube comments. One of them said something like, men should abandon women and go overseas to where they're not bitches. You know what? I agree with that. I agree that women are easier to get along with in other cultures that are less influenced by the feminism, but it defeats the purpose that this academy stands for, to not attack that. And I'll tell you why I think that. Because these guys that are leaving these comments, they're such huge, ineffectual faggots that they would be rejected by women wherever they went. Because they don't know how to have authority over shit. They need an academy like this so that they can go from being so pissed off at their lack of ability that they're killing animals to where they're actually able to do basic things like keep from getting fleeced by a car salesman.
Wow.
Calling people faggots and stuff, he's right. I can see the little, I can see you don't agree. I can see that you're furrowing your brow. I can see you just sighing, going like that. But you don't, I don't know why you're not understanding this. It's an apt term. And it's like the Ban Bossy campaign. If you're so fucking sensitive of a word that you're just going to run with your tail between your legs without looking a little deeper into why they're using that term in the first place, then I guess you deserve MGTOW, which I knew about for a long time. And it's just a bunch of guys bitching at each other as far as I can see. I've looked at the Spearhead. I read a lot of comments on Chateau Heartiste and shit like that. And all it is a bunch of guys bitching at each other. It's therapeutic because they're bitching at something that is socially unacceptable to criticize in this culture. But that's all it is. There is no organized structure where guys actually train and do something to get better like here. It's just a circle jerk of complaining. Wow. And also, your comment at the very end about what MGTOW stands for, you said something like, if a man wants to put on a dress and put on a wig and be a tranny, basically, then we accept that. We support that. What? That's insane. That's liberal insanity. You're depriving these guys of the right to pursue happiness by encouraging them to be like women. That's all I have.
Wow.
All right.
These
that
comments
was a
are
good reaction. Very
stunning.
thoughtful, very
They're fucking stunning.
Right.
I'm just floored.
and I want to get your girlfriend's reaction too.
Okay, I'll go first.
Yes.
These are sick reactions too. I'm having to change my reaction because of that.
No, don't be intimidated. Give your reaction. Don't be intimidated by the other reactions.
Okay, listen.
Just because the other reactions sounded like 2-day rehearsed speeches.
Devo. Okay, your whole argument this entire time was words like faggot, words like bitch, that's alienating people. It's alienating your cause. Your cause is good, but it's alienating people. Okay? I disagree with you. Okay? Because I was in 2 years ago, I was in a bad relationship. I was frustrated. I even started watching men going their own way videos. And I was like, man, these guys got some good points. I was frustrated. But you guys didn't offer me any hope. Like men going their own way. What? So I can be a guy who's on forums, intelligently talking about issues? I don't want to be like that. I like women. Because even though, men going their own way, they're not really going their own way. They're just going to be jerking off to porn.
Oh.
You need women. So I knew I didn't want to be like that. So I'm so happy that we have the academy. And you say the academy is good, then why don't you train here? Why don't you actually be supportive? Why don't you support with your time? This is so much more intensive than just being on a forum and posting. So but here's my point though. This is the reason why I liked them saying faggot and stuff. It got my attention. I was like, holy shit, these guys are calling people faggots? These guys were different. Let me check them out. Because everybody else is being politically correct. All these men going their own way. They're so tame. They're not offering me any hope. They grabbed my attention. So, you're not right. You're not right in saying that it's just going to bring people away. It actually attracted me.
Wow, powerful.
Nice. Your girlfriend's reaction.
Get over here. Get over here.
Get over here. Get over here.
It's okay. It's okay.
Force her. Get the chloroform out and get her over here.
Get over here!
We want to hear from you. We heard the debate. We just want to hear your opinion.
What do you think of the debate?
Stingray promises not to beat you if you give a good reaction.
Put your face on the camera. Come on.
He was just trying to pick little arguments about the professor was just trying to prove his point. He kept picking out little details because he didn't. It seemed like he didn't really have his own argument. That's what I thought. I don't know.
Who didn't? Debo didn't?
Yeah, Debo or whatever.
Didn't have his
So
own argument.
what you're saying is he was focusing on semantics.
Yeah, he was focusing. He was missing the principle of the whole thing. He was just focusing on the little details.
She sounds coached. She sounds like she's brainwashed.
I was going to say she sounds sharp.
Stingray's withholding sex if she doesn't give the right answer. I don't trust her opinion.
All right, Cheryl, your reaction. And thank you for giving your reaction. I don't know your first name, but thank you.
Natalia.
Thank you, Natalia.
God, I hate talking.
Go ahead, Cheryl. Hello?
Churro, unmute your mic,
Cheryl,
Churro.
just come to Trailer's microphone. Yeah.
I like how they're in the same room.
Ghetto style.
He leaves one screen and goes to another screen. I love it.
It's my first debate I've ever been
Speak
to.
up.
Where's the mic? No, this is my first debate I've ever been to. All I remember from this guy is I feel like you're hurting my feelings, and it's not the word faggot really hurts. I don't know why you keep calling me or calling them faggots. And after I kept hearing this from this guy, I just kept going like, what the fuck? Why am I here? Why did I come here to Trailer Trash's place to listen to this debate? It was a waste of time for me. And I started getting a headache too because this guy, it seemed like he was ignoring the points that Professor was making about, hey, we're not just calling you a faggot because you like to take it up the ass. No, we're not saying that. We're just saying that because it's easier to say it rather than say you're an emasculated guy and that you guys don't know how to form relationships. It's just, he wasn't getting it. And I didn't want to hear this guy talk anymore because it seemed like he didn't want to get it. And that's my reaction.
Thank you. Ray. Oh, shit.
He doesn't understand the nature.
Start from the beginning.
Oh, okay. So it seems to me that he doesn't understand, like, what is a debate. He thinks that we should compromise with people, but a debate is an argument, it's a disagreement between two people of, like, that believes in different points. And it was really annoying me that he was just like, well, even though the other side is wrong, we should compromise him. We should compromise with them to trick them into believing our points so that we can actually discuss further with them. Well, you know what? It annoys me when people come to the Academy and doesn't even look at our argument. If they don't look at our argument in our ebook that we put forward, why should we even argue with you? It's not even an argument. You're just coming here to try to pick us apart. Why should we indulge in that? That's basically about it. I didn't hear anything of substance in this debate. I thought it was just you calling us mean for calling other people's names, and you just disagreeing with us when we gave you a reasonable explanation, and you do not have a reasonable explanation to back up your disagreement.
Wow.
So I'm sorry, your argument was not effective at all.
All right. Wino, your reaction.
I think it's difficult to debate someone when they don't have the capacity to listen to you. I mean, in the beginning of the debate, like, when I joined in, I see this guy and, he's dressed in a collared shirt. I was listening to the way he spoke. He sounded like an educated individual, like he knew what he was talking about. But as the debate progressed, specifically when he talked about, when Professor was trying to tell him, look, you woman, do you want a moderator or not? And he's like, no, I just want you to answer the points. No, I just want you to answer my points. He can't even listen to direction. I mean, that's already a point, like a point for me, or a bad, a bad quality for me, I guess you could say, that all the MGTOWs have had. I honestly thought you were going to come in and try and give us a different perspective of the MGTOW movement, but it's the same. You don't want to listen. You're delusional. The professor was giving you facts after facts, and even when he tried to tell you his side of the story by his experience, you're like, that's not true. You're not even listening. You need to open your ears. You need to listen attentively to what the other person is saying. That way you can actually poke holes in his contention. And then there's this other point where you say, well, you haven't convinced me yet to listen to read your ebook or to educate myself on your website. And I'm thinking, wouldn't it be easier for you to poke holes in his contention or his argument if you knew more about the Academy? Wouldn't that be more ammunition for you to prove that he's wrong if you actually educated yourself into what this Academy is about? You're a faggot.
Whoa.
You're a fucking faggot.
Whoa.
You do not want to know the truth. And I understand where you're coming from, that you get offended. The
The truth is offensive to people that don't want to hear it. I get offended on a daily basis. When I'm not speaking up, when I'm being monotone, when I'm not enunciating, of course I get butthurt. No one likes to be corrected. But you're a delusional fuck, just like every MGTOW out there. I suggest you join this academy. That way you don't keep being a delusional faggot.
Wow. Fucking powerful.
Damn, Wino.
I don't support the name calling, but that was powerful.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. You uneducated,
We got this point. Mute his mic before he goes off course. Mute his mic before he goes crazy.
Alright, Flappy Bird. Were you here for the whole debate?
No, I came in for just a couple of minutes at the end because I was watching the movie, and from what I can hear based on the reactions, I didn't miss anything.
Alright, well then we'll skip
You would have sided with him. This is the guy that would have sided with you, by the way.
Cotton Picker. Were you here for the whole debate?
Negative.
Alright, Thoughts. Were you here for the whole debate?
I was here for the last half.
Alright, whatever. Good enough. Go.
Alright, I took some notes too.
Oh man, these guys are really getting hardcore. They're taking notes now.
Alright. I don't read MGTOW websites. I might have read a line or two here and there, but not really. All I know about MGTOWs is what I learned from when they come to debate Professor. And I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed at all. It looks really sad. Is this the best MGTOW has to offer? I don't even know what arguments you have. Because you never get to them. You never say anything that means anything. So, I don't know what to say. That's just my reaction to you and the MGTOW movement. Until I get some better arguments, I don't know. I hate, before I came to the academy, I used to think, oh, wishy-washy this. Oh, things can mean this, things can mean another thing. There's no guidelines. And you try to stick that in there. I'm learning about guidelines. I'm learning about what the definition of a male is. I'm learning about what it means to find the truth of something. In the end, the guy, the debater here, Devo, wanted us to say, okay, agree with some of the things I said, and I'll agree with some of the things you said. Like a tit for tat. No, fuckhead! Everybody out there, no. I agree with the truth. Not with making sure your feelings are saved. Not with making sure that we're even Steven. Fuck that. My whole life I've been fucked because I want it to be even Steven. Fuck that. I want the truth. I want the hard truth. I want the truth that's been scrutinized publicly. It was also weird how you didn't read the textbook. And you were kind of, I don't know, it was really weird. I don't know what to really say about that. Because the book is not too long, and it lays out a lot of the arguments here. And maybe that's part of what MGTOWs don't want to hear the truth. Maybe that's all part of we're going to hide our head in the sand. So, no, I'm not joining the MGTOW movement anytime soon. Thank you.
Wow.
All right. Good reaction, Thoughts.
Fucking powerful.
Jacko, were you here for the debate? Well, most of it?
I was here for all of it.
Okay, sweet. Go ahead.
The thing that I'm interested in is hearing from the MGTOW, what is their solutions to have a good relationship with women. And in all the videos I've seen from them, they don't offer any real solutions to have a functional relationship with women. So there was like no hope. Every video that I've seen is just no hope after no hope, and a lot of anger and resentment. But when I came to Manhood Academy, and I just joined today, so I did read the ebook. I read it last night, the whole thing. So I don't understand this excuse that you didn't read it already, because it didn't even take me that long to read it. And why would you not read it? How can you know anything about this academy if you didn't even read the ebook? So
didn't I stuff it half full of pictures? Isn't it actually like 300 pages, but 100 pages of actual reading and like 200 pages of pictures?
Yep.
It's like a fucking picture book. You can finish it in like one sitting.
My thing is where is the message of hope that you're supposed to? I mean, how do you draw in your crowd when you don't show any hope? What are you teaching men to better themselves when it comes to a relationship with women? Or I didn't hear any of that in this debate. I just kept on hearing the emotional, well, you're hurting my feelings because you saying faggot. That's all I heard.
All right. Thank you, Jacko. I'll get to my reaction. You contradict
Wait.
yourself.
What about, does Cotton Picker go or not?
No, Cotton Picker.
Amsterdam.
Amsterdam Heavy, was he here?
Cotton Picker wasn't here.
Amsterdam Heavy?
Amsterdam Heavy.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot about you, buddy. Your reaction, Amsterdam.
Alright, so I'm going to preface this a little bit. I'm a former member of the Academy. I just came back tonight, and hopped right in and saw this debate. So I got some notes here, and I'm going to sort of lay this on you, Devo. So, as a couple others commented, you couldn't even be bothered to read the ebook. You couldn't even be bothered to scan the fucking ebook before you came in here, dude. Because if you had even looked it over a little bit, you would have got the gist of it. At least a little bit. Alright? And at 5 minutes after the hour, you defined MGTOW as fucking feminism for men. Men can be whatever they want. They don't have to conform to gender roles, all this shit. That's the bullshit that these feminists fucking spew. And that's why you're fucking contemptible and your philosophy's fucking bankrupt, what little philosophy of it there is. And I pay attention to the MGTOW bullshit. I know who fucking Barbarossa is. I know who fucking Mystery is. I know who all these assholes are. So, I'm gonna move on to the main point, which is, you're fucking broken because of your inability to get around being offended. You got offended because of hyperbole. Empty fucking hyperbole. Words like faggot and coward. And you shut down and stop fucking listening and rationalizing. And your problem specifically is, you project this, I don't want to offend, people get offended shit out, and that's why you come off as so fucking wishy-washy and weak, and like you have no fucking conviction in anything. You're obviously not stupid, but you have no fucking substance, man. You're offended. You're offended. That's all I got from you was you're offended and you couldn't listen after that. And I'll tell you what, I have that problem, and it impedes my efficiency at work. I am worried about offending people, because people are bitches, and if you offend them, they fucking whine. And that's actually a lot more trouble than it's worth. So I tiptoe around faggots and cowards and bitches all day, and it causes me stress and aggravation. So if you could maybe get around your inability to, ignore hyperbole and empty rhetoric, maybe if you could, you could see that for what it is, and maybe look at yourself and see that it's your inability to communicate that is the real thing that everybody here is commenting on. And that's actually the purpose of the Academy. It's not about picking up bitches, because I'm married and I'm not chasing any bitches. I'm here to learn how to communicate that. So, hi guys. Nice to be back.
Fucking powerful return. Wow.
Welcome back.
Wow.
The permission in this hangout is so high.
That's sick.
That was moving.
I'm like, wow, I'm shivering. I don't even know how to react. I'm just taking all this in. I'm like, wow, I need to really listen to this. Just the reaction part.
I'm kind of shaking. I'm so excited.
That was a new instructor. LTA, lighter than air. Were you here for the whole debate?
I was not here for the whole debate.
Okay, well, do you have any reactions?
Yes, there are some things I want to say. I'm the bleeding heart of the group, or at least I will be tonight.
Oh, you're next. He's next on the chopping block for the debate. He's
absolutely.
The next
I know it's coming.
Okay.
And I just want to say to our buddy who came over here that I can only speak for myself, but I'm sure I'm part of a demographic, maybe one that we're both in. And that is like before, even these guys are saying join the Academy, but let's start even further back on the path. I just hope that you'll read this thing, whether it's on your Kindle or I'm old school, so I printed it out at Kinko's. And just reading these words, it was profound. I realized that I was born in a burning building, and that it's funny. These, I'm sorry, I'm sloppy. I'm on the spot, so I'm nervous all of a sudden. But my logic was completely broken, and it still is, by the way. But I realized that all of the rules and all of the guidelines and all of these systems I had built up around myself to protect myself were based on quite a bit of delusion. And just reading these words, these very powerful words that say some very powerful things that no one else that I had ever encountered had ever gotten away with saying or writing publicly. It was just a shock. Not even offensive, just shocking. And that cracked open a lot for me. That cracked open quite a lot. And I've never been able, nor really wanted to, ever truly walk away from what's in that book there. So just start there, please. Even if you don't want to ever share words with these fellas again, I really wish that you'll read the words. And if you read the first half of them, you'll finish it. If you read the first 10th, you'll finish the other 90%. because there's a lot of power there that I'm willing to say you, sir, have not gotten absolutely anywhere. Is there anything else I have? It's that. No, dropped it. I dropped it.
He taps.
That reaction, by the way. I'll get to my reaction. Devo, your biggest contradiction in this debate by far, you don't even realize it, is you're saying you care about the truth. Hold on a second.
Mom interruption.
Okay, I get. You said you're constantly saying this is not that's not true. That's not true. That's not true. I should have freaking taken a tally how many times you said that. But then what do you say afterwards? You contradict yourself. You act like you care about the truth, but then you're like, no, you're hurting my feelings. Which is it? Is it the truth or is it your feelings? Which one are you going to prioritize, your feelings or the truth? Because you're trying to do it both ways. It's the same thing it's the same thing in the debate. You were saying, oh, I don't want a moderator. We can go with you interrupting me and me interrupting you. But, also, DB, now I want you to moderate. Now step in and moderate. It's like you came into this debate, you weren't even clear on what you wanted. You weren't even clear on what you believed. It's like, do you care about the truth or do you care about offending people? Because the truth is offensive to people who don't want to hear it. Which is it? Do you want to prioritize your feelings over reality or do you want to hear the truth or not? You can't have both. You can't at the same thing hear it. And I think I would be willing to wager this is a pattern that goes on in your life. You seem like a very indecisive guy. I'll give you kudos for showing up. I'll give you kudos for showing up to the debate. That's more than most of the MGTOWs can say. But you came in here. You were very meek. There was no real conviction in what you were saying. You were just the only real conviction you said was, "That's not true. That's not true. It's not this. I don't believe this. I didn't say this." Great. There's an infinite number of things you didn't say. There's an infinite number of things you don't believe. There's an infinite number of things you won't do, or you shouldn't do, or you think are wrong. Great. Why not save us the trouble of going through the billion things that are wrong and just start with the one thing that you think is right? How about that? You don't do that. MGTOWs don't do that because they're faggot cowards. And that's a perfectly accurate term for them. They are faggot cowards. We have done mental gymnastics and lots of work to clarify our terms. We have videos. We have countless debates talking about this very topic. We have an ebook. We have posts in the forum. We have an academy. You can come in for free scholarship and just try it out if you want to. You don't even have to pay. There are so many avenues for you to come and see whether or not what the academy is about. If you don't take them, that's not. If you choose not to take those avenues, that's on you, not on us. That's on you. We give you every opportunity. Every opportunity is there. You can come for free. You can come to a debate. You can come read posts. You can read the ebook. There's so many different avenues. Using this excuse, "You haven't convinced me," is nonsense. The real thing is, you're full of bullshit excuses. You don't care about the truth, but you armchair fucking warriors will sit there and say, "Oh, you guys are not real intellectuals. Ha ha ha." You don't know shit about intelligence. You wouldn't know intelligence if it came up your ass and fucked you. So grow some balls. Show up. Put your views under scrutiny or shut your mouth. I personally am tired that there even has to be a moderator. I don't want to be a moderator for these debates. It's just you shouldn't even call it a moderator. It should be a babysitter because that's what it is. I'm not there to get to the truth. I'm there for you faggots so you don't get butthurt. That's it. That's the unspoken agreement. I'm there to make sure you faggots don't get butthurt. So why don't you grow a pair, show up to the debate, make a decision. Hey man, I'm not going to come with a moderator. I have the balls to defend my view. I have the intelligence to defend my view. I'm going to defend it. None of you faggots do that. And you always say, this is another excuse that I hate. You say, oh, well, those guys there that made a shitty debate, they're not the real MGTOWs. Nope. Okay, you notice how in the academy, we never ever have to say, hey, this isn't the real man again. This wasn't the real man. Professor had a cold that day. That's why he lost. You know why? Because there's substance to what we say. We don't have to rely on these bullshit excuses like you do. You can delude yourself for as long as you want, but every debate has been won for good reason, and it's not because of 1,000 cases of this person had a bad day, this person is an idiot, this person is a subgroup. It's because what we say has substance, and we challenge you to prove us wrong. That's it. That's my reaction.
Wow. Do we need closing statements, or do we already have closing statements? I forgot.
We got the closing statements.
I think I don't. I'm so stunned. I have no closing words. I'll let my audience reaction speaks for itself. Or I'm sorry, the audience reaction speaks for itself. We heard from our next debater too as well. Devo, I'll give you the last word. Go ahead.
I'll unmute you. Just wait a second. There you go. Go ahead, man.
All right, thank you guys for having me. Just a couple of points I wanted to put out there was that, you guys criticized me a lot for not reading the ebook, and at the same time, Professor's saying that he doesn't have time to be politically correct and clean up his vulgar. So that's one thing I'd like to say. Also, one of the fellows there had a question about what our solutions for relationships are as MGTOWs. Just go in there looking for friendship. Just try and be friends with people. Don't rush in and pursue women like that. You'll find that the people that you want to date are going to be much more interested in you when you're just trying to be their friend, when you're not trying to actively pursue them for sex.
Okay, thank you guys for another wonderful episode of Manhood Academy Debates. See you next time.